And with tourism considered the largest travel and tourism destination in Africa, we spoke to Hasnain Noorani, who gave us some insights on just how the industry is strategizing in light of the next normal. Thank you so much, Mr. Noorani, for your time. And let's start by looking at the outlook of the hotel industry amid the COVID-19 pandemic. There has been so many challenges, but there is a bit of hope with the current and shift of numbers that we have recorded recently. Kindly tell us about that.
It was very confusing, and it was a totally new thing for us that, we have never shut hotels before, regardless of whatever happens. But this time, it was explicit instructions from the government that we had to suspend our operations, obviously because the international traveling had been closed. And occupancies we had shut down, so for 3-4 months we had shut down. And once we reopened, we were operating with very minimal 5-10% because there's a lot of confusion.
Now, speaking on matters finances, research has it that most of the hospitality industries in the world are in a kind of debt. Give us some insights on how you have managed to get out of the stormy weather.
One of the key things that we did was immediately this thing came in and we realized that this was going to be for a while. We sat down and we had a very open and honest discussions with our banks. And we showed them what the case scenarios were. And we worked around with the banks in terms of moratoriums. They allowed to give us moratoriums. Because we explained to them that at this moment in time, our first priority was our staffs, our team members.
Now that the hotel industry has started or has begun to welcome visitors on matters domestic tourism, how does the future look like?
I'm extremely excited about the future. Yes, we have gone through a very rough 1.5 years. People who used to take traveling for granted will now, and suddenly when they were now locked for 1.5-2 years, will now realize that it's important to travel. You see more and more flights coming into the country. Into the Kenyan coast, there's quite a bit of push in creating into the more international airport. You can see that there's charters coming in.
And Mr. Noorani, as we wind up, the peak season is here with us. How do you plan to boost hotel occupancy and, most importantly, entice the local tourism?
Now, our cost of financing in Kenya is extremely high, 14% in comparison to when you see in those international countries, Dubai and these places, which is at 2%. 1%, 3%, so that impacts. And then the cost of power. If this is an opportunity where, we would consider to request the government that if there's a possibility specifically for hotels, we could look at the cost of finance, if a special relative different model could be created